Hey everybody, this is Trisha Morris coming to you from Neenah, Wisconsin at our Club Scrap warehouse. And I want to thank you for joining us at this fun event. And I want a special shout out to Kate Griswold from the Great Lakes Scrapbook Events, who really graciously put this together for all of us vendors as an alternative to being with you in Columbus right now. I'm really sad I'm not there. If you had come to my booth and sat down, I would show you a series of different pages to choose from to make the free double page spread. So the first option might have been like these two pages, and then you'd page through and you would see these pages, and then you would select which page spoke to you the most. So first of all, let's just say you selected this layout, because it's nice in spring, right? And we're waiting for the tulips to make their appearance. And what we're going to do is recreate this with these papers. And what's cool about this is you can recreate this with absolutely any paper that you have in your stash. Okay, to help me, I have a couple of things. So first I've got 2 sheets of plain, 1 sheet in a contrasting color, and a print. What we would also use at my booth is something that I actually engineered a few years ago. I call it an accordion pocket file. And what this helps me do when I'm teaching in a class is keep everything organized. So in classes, if you would have signed up for my scrapbooking class with me, we would have made 8 pages in about an hour. And as we trim all of the papers for 8 pages at once, those papers would go into each one of these pockets. Clever, right? So the accordion pocket file does have this lip that I then can add to the front of my trimmer base, and it holds it vertically in place. Take the single plain sheet, and helping me also is my guillotine trimmer. And if you're interested in getting something like this, we can help you out at Club Scrap as well. What I love about it, it has this stabilizing bar right here to hold the paper in place when the blade comes down, and it cuts like butter. Okay, so what we're going to do is put the paper into the trimmer, and we're going to find 11 inches. Make sure your paper is level along the top edge of this stabilizing area here so that you have a nice square cut. Push down firmly on the clear bar and slice. Now the temptation would be to pick this paper up and move it somewhere, but just leave it lay where it landed, and then slide down to 10 inches. And slice again. Then we're going to take this paper, go all the way down to 6 inches, slice. Now left in the trimmer base, you have 1 sheet that is 6 by 12. We're going to rotate that and cut horizontally at 8 and 4. You just made a series of 3 pieces of paper that are all the same size. Now we file. So take 2 of them and put them in the first pocket or the first pile, and take 1 of them and put it in the second pocket. We're all organized. Then I'm going to take the next strip. This currently is 4 by 12. Let's go ahead and cut this at 9, 6, and 3. 9, 6, 3. You just made 4 pieces, all the same size. Take 1 of them, put it in pocket A. The other 3, pocket B, or the second pocket, or the second pile, whatever you happen to be using. And then you have 2 1 by 12 strips. Put 1 in each pile or 1 in each pocket that you're using. And that leaves us, ladies and gentlemen, with no scraps. And that's the whole idea behind this method, is when you subscribe to a Club Scrap kit, we walk you through the instructions, and at the end, there's literally nothing left over. Okay, so the next piece, we're going to slide this in, and in this case, right side up. And we're going to cut at 7.5. So 7, and what's nice about this trimmer, it has a vertical guide every 1/4 inch. So 7, 7 1/4, 7.5, and then 7. I know, it's a little weird. 6.5, and 5. Okay, now we're going to rotate this piece, and I'm keeping the tulip here, so I rotated by turning counterclockwise. All right, we're going to cut at 11 and 7. Take this large 5 by 7, pocket it in the second pile or second pocket, and then here we have these 2 pieces, which we will place both of them in the first pocket. Now we have kind of a wide strip, first pocket, or pile, of course. Now we have 2 skinny. We're going to put 1 in each pile or pocket. And lastly, we have this long, beautiful piece with the tulip. We're going to put that in pocket 2. These papers came from one of the Club Scrap collections from the past, which is still available on our website, and it's called In Bloom. And it's a beautiful collection. Makes 8 gorgeous pages. Okay, so now we're moving on where we've taken the 2 remaining 12 by 12s that are the same color. We'll place them side by side. Okay, so everything from the first pocket is used on the left side of the layout, and everything in the right pocket, is used on the right. Place our 2 4x6 photo mats in the left side here. So here's my gutter between the 2 layouts, and then here we have our 2 4x6s. And then to the left of that, we just have this nice strip kind of subdividing our space a little bit. Perfect. Then we're going to have some nested border strips also, creating a nice little area. And notice that the spacing between each of these individual items is consistent at about 1/8 of an inch. Here on the left, I'll take this rectangle, and it should nest to scale perfectly with a smaller yellow rectangle. And then below that, we have an option for a journaling spot. If you would like, you could flip it over to the plain side, and then you have a chance to add a little something. Now on the right side of the page, we have our elements all selected. So this is going to go flush on the right edge here, creating kind of 2 different zones on this page. Then I'm going to have a contrasting strip to help us divide the space, which is going to be the yellow 1x12 and the 1/2 inch by 12 to nest right on it. I love how that looks. Okay, so then I'll take this pretty 5x7 and nest it with the 4x6. And then we have 3 pieces of the same size in a film strip style going along the edge, still allowing the print to shine. And of course, you do have more room to decorate. Now let's take a look at the finished page. So here is the left side, and you can see how I adapted it to work with the photos that I had from this trip to Jamaica. And I added a few embellishments, added a bow, a stamped image. So of course, then you reach to your stash, or if you're working with the Club Scrap kit, the goodies that we've selected to coordinate. And you can see how all of this came together. I simply added another 4x6 photo on top of here, and then cropped everything down. Okay, then on the other side of the layout, you can see here that the tulip is in the foreground. Now, how did I make that happen? Well, all I did was place the photo over the mat, and you mark where the edge of the tulip, where the edge of that photo is, with a pencil, and then take a craft knife, and you can literally just cut right along this tulip. You could start here, go up and over with the craft knife, and then this will slide underneath. Back here we can see how cute that looks. Now, one last tip, and I promise we'll move on, are the placement of these 3 photo mats. And I want to show you another tip that I do like to show people, because I have this terrible tendency of adhering things to my pages in a crooked line. So here is a grid ruler. From one side it's 0 to 14, the other 7007. So there is a 0 center on this ruler. Now let's just say that I want to adhere these 3 mats, maybe within this area, centered and perfectly straight and evenly spaced. So if I were to take my 0 center of my ruler and just put it right on the edge of my page so that it reads 6 right here and 6 right there. Then I always begin with the center photo first, or mat in this case. And I can see here that my reading on each side is 1.5 inches. So I would put adhesive on the back of this, rest it on the edge of the ruler at 1.5, and drop it down. Next, I can apply adhesive to the remaining 2 pieces and choose my distance away. In this case, I'm going to go with 1/8 of an inch. And now I have 3 perfectly placed photo mats, exactly centered and exactly level, with the help of my grid ruler. So here's another version, and you can see how I've taken the artwork that I had and I just switched things around. I made some rotations. So there's a million ways you can interpret one single formula, and Club Scrap members get a brand new formula with their membership every single month. Now, if you were at our booth at the show, we would have had a chance then after doing the make and take to sort of see what is exactly a Club Scrap membership. And I'll make this quick. This is an example of a kit as you would have seen it on the expo shelves. And you can see it's priced. There's a link on the kit that takes you to a document of instructions. Those instructions also include a link to a video that I walk you through the process of turning this into pages with very little or almost no scraps. So what does that look like? Well, here is what the instruction download would have looked like. And on the front is some cut apart images, because we do help you decorate your pages with art elements, followed by some trimming diagrams that look very, very similar to what I just taught you in the make and take, followed by the images of the layouts of the layouts you'll make, including the dimension the photo would need to be in order to fit into that space. So this was the March kit that Club Scrap members received, and like some of our members have learned, it really doesn't matter what the theme is. You can scrapbook anything onto, in this case, a Western themed collection. So here is my colleague Karen's son and his girlfriend went to Milwaukee to a Bucks game back when we could watch games together, and that's what she used for her Wild Wild West pages. Karen's dad is also a very talented nature photographer, and she scrapbooked some of his eagle pictures. And here are her friends' kid at the Tall Ships in Green Bay, Wisconsin. So you don't need to be in Texas to use these beautiful Western pages, believe it or not. And we do this every month so that as you create your pages, you can finish them with anything that you're working on. Our goal is always pages for any reason, any season. So we've been doing online learning for a long time, and I'd love to have the opportunity to teach you how to make your pages every month if you should choose to join us. Speaking of joining, to welcome you to the club, I want to extend the offer we would have extended to you had we met at the show. I have one of 3 gifts that you can choose from to welcome you to the club. All of these gifts are what I think are critical items to your success, and one of them is this awesome 3x14 grid ruler. Another gift would be a kit to make your own accordion pocket file. No, I don't have these all made up to sell, but I have them so you can make them. The kit looks like this, and it includes a link to a video tutorial where yours truly will show you exactly how to assemble your accordion pocket file. Not only that, it also comes with the glue that I used to assemble this, which is also wonderful for all kinds of other projects. So it comes with a 2-ounce bottle of our bookbinding glue and a needle tip applicator, plus the labels you need for your pockets. And the third gift would be a binder. You'll receive an empty binder, but also a link to a download that it's basically like a cookbook for your scrapbook pages and cards. So it's originally called an idea deck because there are hearts, spades, clubs, and diamonds, 52 cards in a deck, 52 formulas in this little binder that I've downloaded and printed, but you would do the same. And the formulas basically include the spades and clubs all make layouts, and all of those really specific instructions for trimming with no waste are included, and the same would be true for the card formulas as well. So if you're a card maker, this idea deck helps you create cards from the stash that you have. So my goals for my members are twofold. Number 1, help you use what you already have, and number 2, help you use everything we send. Speaking of cards, how about we do a quick card make and take using the same philosophy? Okay, so you sat back down by my table at my booth, and here we are ready to make some cards together. What you'll need from your stash, if you want to do this with me, because you can, is one 12 by 12 in one color and one 12 by 12 in another color. Okay, so what we're going to do is first figure out the grain direction. And if you've ever folded something in half and had that fold look really crumpled and really nasty looking, that's because you were folding against the grain. Okay, so how do I find it? Well, if you take the paper and hold it by an edge right in the middle and just let the paper hang down and study its behavior. So is it droopy or is it really stiff and resistant? Then rotate one turn and compare. Well, that's really stiff as a board. Here, very droopy. Okay, so this is different for different cutting formulas I've developed, but for this particular one, we want our paper to go into the trimmer, drooping easily left to right. Okay, so basically the grain of the paper is going this way. In the future, we are going to fold our paper this way. That's why I know that's how I want that to go into the trimmer. And we're going to take a second sheet, okay? Do the same test. All right, here, study the droop. Very stiff. Very droopy. So we're going to trim both of these papers at 8.5 inches. Stabilize always. Let that paper lay where it landed. Lift the blade. Now we're going to rotate, and we'll cut horizontally at 11 and 5.5. So now you've got 4 sheets of paper all the same size. These grow up to become your card bases. So I think I'm just going to put the blue in pocket 1 or pile 1, and then the aqua in the other pocket. There was a 1 by 8.5 inch piece. Now when you're trimming something this narrow, bringing it all the way up here isn't always an option. So what I like to encourage people to do with a trimmer like this is to bring it to the midpoint, or bring it so that the 2 pieces are just resting, the top edge of the piece resting along the bottom edge of the inch measuring line. So I'm going to find 7 inches, stabilize, and then slide to 3.5. Always push on that clear bar. Okay, so I'm going to take the blue and match it in the blue and the aqua in the other pocket. Okay, now I have this other long strip. This is 3.5 by 12. Oh, and by the way, I'm sorry to tell you that as it stands, these are your scraps. Okay, now we're going to take this strip. We're going to cut it horizontally at a really weird measurement. That's 11 3/4, 9.5, and 4 3/4. So I'm going to take the aqua, the light colored ones, put it in with the dark blue, put it in with the light colored pieces. Then I'm going to take one dark blue, put it in with the dark blue card bases, and then one aqua, put it in the second pocket. And these, my friends, are your other scraps. You could probably get really innovative and try to find a home for these. There's no reason you couldn't. Now, I normally wouldn't have this luxury at an expo, but I like to bring up my Score Pal. And I'm going to take the 2 dark blue card bases and at the same time plop them on the Score Pal. And I'll use a actual bone folder rather than the one that came with it and score these horizontally. I'm going to score 2 at a time because I'm all about efficiency. And my blue cards are scored, and then I can take the light blue, put them in horizontally, score it 4 1/4. And again, 2 at a time. So that's really efficient, ladies and gentlemen, which I love. Okay, so setting this aside, now I've got my pockets full of things I can use to make cards. The anatomy of a score. You have a divot and you have a bump. The bump of the score is what goes on the inside of that fold, okay? Even Hallmark does it that way. So trust me, the bump of the score goes on the inside of the fold, and we'll fold our 2 dark blue card bases. You could add 2 more sheets of paper to the project and increase the output of cards. So you could end up making a whole bunch of cards where every layer is a different color, which is really cool. So now from the other pocket, I'll fold my light blue, or my aqua card base. If you had taken the Make and Take, I would have handed you this. Now, these are images printed from a collection that we did called Happy Camper. And every theme that we release is released in a page kit, a card kit, and a digital collection. So this is from our digital kit of Happy Camper. It's super cute. So then what you can do is just trim out these sentiments and layer them onto your cards. So I'm going to take a second and do that. And when we come back, I'll show you the finished card samples, because my originals are at my booth, and I don't know where that is. All I have left to do here is add my sentiments into the middle of the cards, or you could always stamp them as well. So where do you find this formula? This you can get at clubscrap.com/expo-cards. All lowercase, that's really important. clubscrap.com/expo-cards. And again, this is that card formula. You'll be able to download it from that link and use this again and again, and hopefully help make maybe a small dent in what you perhaps own at home. Now, if you had just taken that Make and Take with me, I would show you then how all of this method and this technique translates into what we do here at Club Scrap every single month. And we've been doing this every month for 20 years, if you can believe it or not. We're really proud of that heritage that we have here as a company. So a kit, this is also the same Western theme, but different prints from the page kit that we've created. Also different goodies, all sourced to be ideal for card making. And then what I basically do is show you how to trim all of the paper in the package into a series of cards. We include all of the artwork and embellishments as well, and all of the video instructions. So I never leave you on your own with this to figure it out. I give you a printable of the instructions as well as a full video tutorial. This particular month, our unique card structure is this adorable bridge card, again in the Western theme, but it's really pretty fun if you think about it. So this is an abbreviated pile of our card samples that would actually be made. This kit uses this efficient method to make a total of 16 cards and 2 of these folios, including the Velcro and everything that comes with it. So I teach you how to make this particular month, and then the folio holds all of your cards, and we also include the 16 envelopes required for these cards, because there's nothing more frustrating than making a card and then not having an envelope that fits. I just don't have time for that. If you were to decide, like let's say you were at the show and you're like, I want to join this club, we would have the same gift offer for our new card club members as well. And that includes, to review, the cool binder, which you would then download, print, and fill with all of these 52 card and page formulas. You can choose the 3x14 grid ruler, or you could choose the accordion pocket file starter kit along with the glue and everything you need to make your own organizer. So let's review all of our links and then the plan for shopping, because that's what most people do after they take a class or a make and take. They want to see if they can pick up a few of these things, and we want to make that easy and possible for you. So the first is that link for the page make and take. That's clubscrap.com/make take, all lowercase letters. The second link for the card make and take is clubscrap.com/expo-cards. Now for shopping, if you go to clubscrap.com and click shop and then click paper crafting, you'll be able to shop just like a member, which is kind of unusual. That means all of our kits will be member price of $21.95 instead of $29.95. And you will also get free shipping. I just also want to make one last shout out to Kate Griswold and the Great Lakes Scrapbook Events for going above and beyond to help those of us vendors who would have been there make lemonade out of these lemons. This doesn't really benefit Kate all that much, but it really helps these mom and pop shop, family-owned businesses stay alive during these really difficult times. If you have questions about becoming a Club Scrap member, please reach out. We're here to help. info@clubscrap.com. These offers that I've made to you are only good for 14 days, and they're only good for people from your area. And again, your code is Ohio, all caps, or Ohio member. Thank you so much for the privilege of your time. I hope you feel that you've learned something with the time that you've given me, and I look forward to seeing you next year in Ohio.